Hi, everybody. So it's Bill and Liz again. We wanted to share with you some of the upsides, some of the really fun stuff that happens at Cogno Conscious. It's all upside, but there really is some very, very cool things we wanted to share with you. And first, we want to say, if there's anything that we're saying to you that you don't quite understand about consciousness and the levels of consciousness, go to cognomovement.com/Gaia, GAIA. And there's a whole hour course on the map of the levels of awareness. So you can kind of get an idea more of what those levels are and dig into it. But let's share some fun stuff that happens, Bill. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, these are things that happen right afterwards. So we clear out shame, guilt, grief, humiliation, anger of a lifetime. So you could imagine once you're absent, all of these negativities of your lifetime, what might happen and what we've seen over time actually happens is phenomenal. One of the things that happens is that people go home and begin to clean and organize. We don't talk about cleaning and organizing in the class, but they are painting their houses, they're redecorating their house. They are in a place that all of a sudden they say, like, I didn't even see the dirt. I didn't see the cobwebs. And now literally they could see it and they're doing something about it. So it's yeah.
And they have the energy to do something about it,
Yeah.
right? The energy and the focus and the mood. You feel like changing your environment, sprucing things up.
Yeah. Yeah. And with that, they actually see it through like a lens, a different lens. We had one of the persons that came, wonderful story. I heard from her a week later, and she said she came home, she flew home, and she drove up to her house, and she was like, "Is this my house?" And I know that sounds really strange, but it's as if she saw the house and she was like, "Oh my God, I don't even know." It seems like almost another dimension or something, but this looks different to me. It looks and feels different.
Yeah. Speaking of dimension, it does really feel like that. And there may be a little bit of that. The first Cogno Conscious event that we put on, we were unaware how much it would affect us. And Leah and I were driving home from San Diego to Oregon, which is about a 15-hour drive. And we skipped time and place. I mean, we had an absolute time jump, warp that happened. And the same things, everything looked different on the way home.
Well, so sure, everybody's that's listening to you is like, by the way, this is a very strange thing. There's a whole story behind this, but literally hundreds and hundreds of miles, all of a sudden she was in a different place on a freeway that she didn't belong on, and it was hundreds and hundreds of miles later when she kind of came to.
But what was amazing about that is it started for us in the Cognomovement system, this ability to recognize and notice when we're literally changing a timeline, meaning reality looks this way, and then a minute later, it looks a different way. And so it could just be a shift in perspective. It could be that your mind is so open that you see everything completely differently, or it really could be that you're changing and jumping timelines. So you get to pick which of those you have, but it's this massive amount of energy change that happens. And we're talking about voltage in the body. You become a different person because your body's running so differently and your perspectives are so changed. And the world looks different. Like everything looks a little sharper, brighter, clearer. Oh, the clarity. We were talking about this, the clarity that comes. So we had one person who had a lifelong real problem with her mother. I mean, one that everybody expected for them both to go to the grave with. Yeah. She left the event, went home, had to fly across the country, and called me and said, I just realized that I actually love her. I love her. I loved her before because she's my mom, but now I actually have affection for her. She looks like a different person to me. And that has lasted for many years since. So that things like that happen as well. Now, her mother didn't do anything different, but she absolutely knew her mother differently now. So that's massive. Share a little bit about some of the other little fun things. Like people become a little more psychic and manifest things differently.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's the amazing thing. So one of the first things that shows up is telepathy, meaning knowing who's going to call. They just either they think of somebody and then they call, or they know this person is going to call. So this is like, I would call it very garden variety. What happens after a Cogno conscious seminar and that work? It's predictable because their energy is at a different level. It's not being taken by their shame and guilt and humiliation, and it's available to them. And with that, they become much more sensitive to these other informations that are out there.
Yeah, I really like the way you said that, Bill. The energy is available. Like these psychic abilities or the ability to think of something and have it show up, it was always available, but you couldn't see it. You didn't know it was there because your energy was tied up with, the garden variety problem of the day that
Right. Yeah.
absorbs your attention. And so after a cogno conscious event, you're free of that. And so now this knowing that the phone's going to ring, it was there, but now you hear the phone ring before it does. Or you see the item in the store on sale, exactly your size, when it wasn't there 5 minutes before, and now it is. So it's that availability of energy that becomes possible. And it's really, really fun, I have to say.
Oh, God, I love that. Yeah, I love the stories, especially that was a real funny story. There was before she went on the whole seminar, she really wanted these boots, right? And she was like, they were really expensive boots. And afterwards, she had gone back and there are no more boots, right? And anyway, bottom line is that she found them and they were somehow marked half off, not only, and the only pair her size and half off, so yeah. This is just fun little stories of what's available after you do the work.
Yeah, and it actually can be much, much grander than that. I want to tell a quick story about our practitioner, Katie Reekley. And the reason is Katie's teaching a class tomorrow night. It's a free mini master class, an hour-long class where she's going to start the series on how to clear pain out of your body with Cognomovement, chronic pain. She's an expert because she was experiencing it. Katie dove into Cogno Conscious. It was one of her first Cognomovement events, which that's a big thing to do. But afterward, Katie's life changed completely. She not only eradicated pain out of her body, but pain was her whole life. Katie had massive injuries, back pain, slated for surgery. But she got rid of pain in her body. She changed her job. She got out of corporate completely, changed her job within 4 months, moved. She was single and planned on being so. Now in a relationship, she literally renoed her entire life after a Cogno conscious event. Now she kept working after that, but the whole idea that it was possible showed up right after Cogno conscious. And she's going to be coming back this year. I think this is her third time. But if you are ready for a life reno, full renovation, Cogno conscious might be for you. Or if you're really just wanting to experience some magic, because man, afterward, magic abounds, that's for sure.
Sure does. And it's so, some of it is so predictable and some of it's not. Good things though. Hope you join us.
Okay. Again, you guys, cognomovement.com/Gaia, GAIA. You can watch more about the map of the levels of awareness and have a better understanding of what we're going to be talking about during Cogno Conscious. Go to cognomovement.com, upcoming events to register for Cogno Conscious. It is live in person in San Diego. It's 4 days and it's spectacular. And Bill and I want to invite you personally to come on down. All right, we'll be back with more soon. See ya.